Welcome back to Kryptolytix, giving a fresh take on crypto analytics. And this is your crypto recap, where I cover some of the things going on in the crypto space. So let's jump in. Okay, so here we are on the old Bitcoin cycle chart, starting off every video with this. But I think I will actually just move straight over to my Twitter post that I posted this morning, just covering what I'm looking for this cycle for an exit. So are we anywhere near that right now? Well, the answer is no. It's a resounding no. So this is what I'm actually looking for the exit this cycle. This is based on a reply that I actually posted on someone else's tweet, but I decided to make a post for it based on my reply. So what I'm looking for to exit, and again, we might get another fake out like we did the last cycle, but I'm actually looking for BB trend trader sell. So there's the BB trend trader sell on candle close was there, was the first instance, which was a fake out. And then the second instance was here, which was the correct exit for the last cycle. Fibonacci super trend, it was actually in concert. So both were a sell at the exact same time there, and both were a sell at the exact same time there. Sometimes one's earlier than the other. So that's the other thing as well as a couple for taking profit, such as the pivot surge and the pi cycle top. So pi cycle top was there. Beautiful point to take profit actually. And that was on Bitcoin at around, let me have a quick look here at the actual live chart. Pi cycle top was around 56K. Beautiful, beautiful point to take profit. I actually did take a large amount of profit there on my Bitcoin that it was bought around here. And the other thing I'm looking for is the pivot surge. So if you see the pivot surge here, again, just to reiterate, but only in the red zone of the log regression channel. So here's the log regression channel in the background here. So that's the red zone up there. So if we see we're in the red zone, it came from the red zone. So technically that's red zone, and technically that's red zone because it came from the red zone as well. That's basically what I mean with regards to this tweet. And the pivot surge is also another point to take profit and re-enter. So we had pivot surge here. So on this candle, pivot surge. So that was at about 45K. So there's a profit point, re-entry and re-entry on the pivot surge. I'll take those if I see them. And there was another pivot surge here at 58K. So this is what I'm looking for taking profit. Again, it won't be all out and all in. It'll be aggressive scaling, right? Aggressive scaling, especially if we start to form lower highs and lower lows below the bull market support band. So here's our lower high to here, so on and so forth. So that's just a more detailed explanation of this post. So anyway, let's move on. So last time we saw the stochastic heat map on the 1 hour chart on Bitcoin at this sort of color. So this is the deep blue that we have not actually seen since earlier this year. And you can see we didn't even get that color. Yeah, so this is a very deep blue, right? We didn't even get that color here on this correction there. It was before we started that huge move to the upside, which was in Jan at the start of the year, right? So that's the last time we saw this kind of blue. Now we did go deeper blue as well. Now, as I said in my last Bitcoin video, whenever I see blue, I buy. So even though it's a knife, I still catch it. So here was the first instance of this blue right here. So that's what this post is comparing. Let's have a quick look here at the two charts. It's over here. I can't point to it, but we did this. So we went down and then like the next step, and then we got deep blue, right? Deep blue. There's a beautiful buying opportunities. And then we sort of recovered a little bit, and then we went down for another deep blue. So that was at 39K. Well, those would have been great buying opportunities, right? For those aggressive dip buyers. And so let's have a look here. Now, if I just took a bar pattern and put it exactly where that blue was here, then the low would be about 58K. But if we go based on drawdown percentage, so that's where you take the bottom to top, I think it was about 8%, although the prices were lower. So it means that percentages, are quite different. But anyway, it's about 8%. You can see here, 8.34% drawdown. If we got an 8.3% drawdown, which again, as I said, like it would probably be less. It'd probably be more like 5-6%. But anyway, if we go 8% or thereabouts, it would put the price at about 56K. Now I covered all the supports in my last Bitcoin video. So if you want to check that out, you can, I'll put a link to it and then just above here. But anyway, so that's what we'd be looking at if we just did exactly what we did last time. We saw this blue. Now, did I buy the dip? Yep, did. Why? Because I'm actually building a long trade, as I mentioned. And that's because I've got 2 pivot surge signals. Now, my average entry is actually down here because when we came down further, I actually aggressively bought at lower prices, or added to my long position, I should say. So there is my trade right there. There's my long entry sitting at around 64K. Now, we'll is there potential we keep coming down? Of course there is. Of course there is. Now I actually have a stop loss sitting at if a price accepts below 57k. So if I see weekly closes and not just wicks or anything like that, but if I see proper closes below 57k, well, I have to pull my position because that's just part of the strategy. And that actually is more of a buy zone, but yeah, again, it's just, I just have to follow my strategy because if we come down further to like 52, 53, then, you know, which is the bull market spot band, then, well, at least I'm preserving some of my capital so that I can start to buy back at those levels. Or maybe it's just a, you know, 1 week closes and then it shoots that straight up after just to fake out everyone. But again, that's why I'm waiting for weekly closes, or at least 3 days, right? 3 days closes are sort of a common thing to look for. But anyway, so I was buying pretty aggressively around the 60k mark. So, you know, my entry was at 66, and because I did that, now my entry is at 64. Not a huge difference, let's be honest. But anyway, so that's the reason why I was buying the dip, but also I bought my Solana and put it into Infinity, which is the Sanctum LST. Cover more of that later in this video. So let's move on. Now, open interest is at levels not seen since Feb at 47k. So here's our open interest chart here, down the bottom of this chart. It's just the chart we we're looking at just before. And you can see open interest is pretty much where it was there. So big flush, big flush, because look at the rec longs, $1.5 billion in rec longs. So now we've got lots of shorts in the market. Now, what does that mean? It means that we've got a ton of liquidity above. And look at this massive amount of liquidity above. That's $1.17 billion. And that's just in this one point here, but there'd be all around this zone here, $1.1 billion. So it means that the market makers knew to send it, because look, it was actually there pretty much from the get-go. So you can see it building more and more and more right here. So that's at 71k though, so a chance of us, like, you know, spiking up there and taking that liquidity, I think is pretty low at the moment, because by the time I think price starts to come back up there, a lot of these positions that open these shorts probably will be closing, which will actually be buy pressure. But also, if we have a look here at Kyle Dupe's post, you can see at 66k, it could liquidate 1.7 billion in short. So there's also more open interest here. So this is pulling data from other exchanges and stuff as well. But we've got the spike right here. It's which is 6 billion. Look at that. Actually, that's actually a lot easier to get to. 68k. So that 68k level. Look at this massive spike here. Crazy, right? So at 69, I think 69k. Look at this crazy spike here, about 6 billion apparently, according to this one. And then we've got a 66k, 1.73 billion spike, which is, yeah, about here anyway. But yeah, it just shows there's a lot of liquidity above and not a lot below. So if we're looking for liquidity, as in hunting liquidity, you know, like the market makers like to do, then there's a chance that we'll go up in the short term to capture some of that, right? Stop losses, liquidation levels, so on and so forth. So I've actually deployed some new bots on Pionex, and I will update at some point, probably in the next month, and see if they were worth it or not. Because sometimes they're not, and sometimes they are. Now, Bohm had a small win here. So this uses the Heikenaishi super trend. And you can see that if we have a look at the strategy tester, 81% win rate, which is pretty nice, to be honest. So it's captured some really nice moves. Currently in a long position. And yeah, I just put like $75 into this and then put it up to 4x leverage. I've actually lowered the leverage on these because I'm sick of them getting wrecked. Because I just go degen and go 10x. And because they're isolated margin, they don't have the margin available for if there's really big price moves. So I'm lowering the leverage, and I'm just gonna have this as a sort of a long-term strategy. So if I go into drawdown periods, it doesn't wreck the bot. And also Rune, so let's have a look at Rune one. Rune's currently in a short, and yeah, that was pretty nice actually. I've put the stop loss, I think, really tight on all of these, so they actually close their positions really early if there's a big price move. 3.7% is not a big price move. Low win rate, but overall has done pretty well. It's 1,331% up since the start of last year. And the last one was, so XNO. So now I don't even know what the hell this project is. All I saw was that this had a 100% win rate. And I was like, well, it's really hard to beat that. You know what I mean? So again, really tight stop loss on this one. Oh no, it's 8%. I think the Bohm one was like really low. But anyway, 8%. So that's actually quite a large stop loss. But anyway, so if you want the settings for these, let me know in the comments below, and I'm happy to share them. But nevertheless, I can also share the bot if you want me to share the bots, as in, because I can copy the bot links. But again, I'm going to wait for 1 month and do a review on those before I start sharing links, because, to be honest, you know, I'd rather throw mud at the wall to see what works, and then if it works, then I'm happy to share it, and if it doesn't, then I don't want to share it, because I don't want anyone else to get sucked into my crazy experiments. Another thing I actually noticed, has anyone else noticed there's no ADA perps, Cardano perps on any decentralized exchanges? Found it on DYDX, but literally I've looked on all of the decentralized dexes on Solana. I've looked on Manta, Mantle, ZK Sync. Like, I've looked all over the place and I literally can't find anywhere. So what is the deal with that? I don't know. Why do these other chains not want ADA perps on their exchanges? I mean, they got XRP and some of them even have a Litecoin. I mean, these are all boomer coins. ADA is a kind of a boomer coin as well, but I don't know, because I've got a really good strategy for it. 64% win rate. It's up 2,000% since the start of last year. Let me look at these beautiful, beautiful price moves. And also I could use the Heikin-Ashi super trend as confluence. So that's the Heikin-Ashi super trend there, which broke out there, but I go for the BB and then buy on the Heikin-Ashi super trend. I mean, look at that. How great is that? And then short here, add to the position here, so on and so forth. I mean, these are really nice moves. And I can't do it anywhere. I mean, I can do it on Pionex, but I don't really like, all I use Pionex for is bots. I don't use it for anything else. But why is 88 perps not on any other exchanges? I just don't know why. Also, with regards to the Bitcoin ETF in Hong Kong, I mean, we haven't really seen many inflows or anything like that, but Ron from Box Mining did a video following up from the one that I showed in the last video, and he said it was in Mongkok. I was right, it's in Mongkok, but I did live there for a very long time, like 6 years. So if I can't recognize somewhere in Hong Kong, then there's something very wrong with me. But anyway, lots of traffic through Mongkok, and this is be pushed, you know, in more places, but we got to wait for sentiment to shift. Remember I mentioned that last video. Just because an ETF is listed doesn't mean anything. Once we get more bullish sentiment back in the market, it means more buying pressure, essentially coming from another vertical. So into the Solana ecosystem update, let's get started. So I actually bought SOL yesterday, as I mentioned just before. This is the first time I've actually bought SOL over $100. So I checked my portfolio tracker and everything else was like $90, $80, and then all the way down to 12, 13, 18, so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm actually buying Solana at these levels, which feels kind of weird. I actually just a nibble at the moment because I think there's a good chance that we make it more downside. So, you know, this is my like sweating but laughing face. Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about buying the dip right now, I suppose. But I think it'll be okay. And yeah, Solana's going up from here. Let's be honest, Solana's going up from here, and you know, it could go down more, but it'll go up, you know, because we're like halfway through the bull market, a little over halfway through the bull market. So anyway, you know, I know there's the left chain stated cycle narrative, but I'm not a subscriber to the theory, so I'm going to ignore it. So report over 1 million active wallets interacted with Solana blockchain in the last 24 hours. Wow, that's crazy. So 26% growth. Look at this. And I mean, that's probably from the last few days, I suppose, the comparison, 26% new growth. And new wallets, 200,000 new wallets. So people coming into Solana, welcome. Welcome to the ecosystem, and welcome to one of the best blockchains on the planet. And also Solana has gone interchain. So Picasso Network is launching the first Solana IBC connection. So really, really cool. I mean, Solana already has decent connectivity with the Cosmos ecosystem. I'll have a whinge about Injective's new disconnect, but anyway. So the IBC, that'll actually be really, really good for getting into Injective and other Cosmos-based blockchains. So IBC expanding Solana enables one of the most innovative DeFi ecosystems to seamlessly interoperate with other IBC-enabled chains. So that'll be really good, and that'll probably remove the need for Wormhole, which, I don't know, I'm bullish Wormhole in the long term, but in the short term, you know, sometimes when you're doing bridging and you get these weird issues and, you know, you black hole assets, makes you realize Wormhole is still not a perfect product. In fact, it's very far from it. So anyway, not selling my Wormhole, don't want to FUD it because I want that Monad airdrop. I think I represent retail. Let's be honest, I represent retail because a lot of influencers are like trying to, you know, be like, no, the incentives programs are all dying, and I'm kind of on board with it. But you know, I'm just another retail participant because, you know, I also hop from protocol to protocol, chasing alpha and chasing airdrops. So whatever, I'm, you know, one of them. But this will be really good anyway, more connectivity. I want this to happen faster because I can't bridge to Injective anymore from Solana, at least at the moment. So I briefly covered Range of Finance and in yesterday's video, the other day's video, but there wasn't too much to show. Well, now they've actually launched their website. They didn't have a website a couple of days ago. Now they do. I mean, they've obviously been developing on the back end, but I didn't really mention that much about what it was, but it's actually Solana's first Perp-DEX aggregator. Now, this is really cool. They haven't integrated Mango for some reason, but Mango only has Render, Solana, Bitcoin, and Ethereum trading. But the partners that they're going for in the offset are Zeta Markets, Drift, Flash Trade, coming soon, at Jupiter Exchange as well, coming soon. So at the moment, it'll be Zeta Markets and Drift, which are two of the protocols with the highest liquidity. So that's probably smart to integrate those first. But essentially, it finds the best route for DEXs. So this is basically your Jupiter for Perp-DEXs. Cool concept. No, I think it is. So yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this. You can't really do anything. You can't click on this. But regardless, you can enlist if you want. You can go and click enlist and enlist now if you really want. There's limited slots and you just have to basically answer some questions. And I am a recruit. So anyway, I just recruited and signed up for it. Just got to go through a few things. If you're interested in this project, I very much am. So if you want to sign up for it, then you can go onto their X, find the link to their website and go through and join. Now, the Jupiter voting has started for round 2 of the LFG launchpad. As I mentioned in my last video, I've actually voted for Sanctum LST. Now, a lot of the KOLs in Solana seem to be voting for Uprock, and that's fine. It's a cool project. I do like the concept of it. It's a bit like Brass. I don't know if they actually do GPU or other compute sharing. I'm pretty sure that's part of the project. At least they may be working towards it to earn UPT. But I think it's mainly bandwidth because it's on the mobile phone. Well, they've got an app on the mobile phone. It's cool. Okay, it's cool. And if you want to vote for Uprock, absolutely, that's fine. I've got 2 wallets. So in my major wallet, I voted for Sanctum LST. And in my minor wallet, it's only got a small amount of Jupe that's staked at the moment, I voted for Uprock. So anyway, I voted for both. Currently, Sanctum LST is in the lead. I already went through in the ecosystem video the other day what projects are sort of coming out. So I won't go into the details really too much. But yeah, Sanctum LST is actually also offering incentives for people who voted for them. And that's not why I voted for them. I actually voted for them because I like the concept, because I really do like LSTs. So now with regards to the SharkyFi launch, and that's something that has sort of pulled tokenomics into the fray, or at least with regards to like the zeitgeist of, or the meta, if you will, of current project launches. The SharkyFi tokenomics were really bad, and the launch was pretty bad, and the airdrop was not the best. So it's kind of pulled tokenomics into question. Now, I'll go through the Sharky briefly, and but anyway, with regards to Sharky, I mean, just remember, LFG DAO voters will be getting quarterly airdrops ongoing. So, you know, if you didn't get the Sharky airdrop, that's fine, because in Q2 is most likely when you will get that. So also we'll probably get more Zeus and whatever else, essentially whatever comes. The airdrops for the LFG are quarterly. So just keep that in mind. If you didn't get anything for Sharky, then you probably will in the Q2 airdrop period. Now, SharkyFi launch has shown us that tokenomics are important for new projects. No vesting for VCs. Many Sharky holders and users of the platform didn't receive anything of the airdrop. They did try to address this after the fact, but I don't think it has been dropped just yet. Anyway, the LFG launchpad will likely get some in the next quarter. So yeah, I mean, people aren't that happy with the Sharky launch, to be honest. I don't really care about it. I don't use the platform. I don't feel like I deserve an airdrop. So that's why I don't really care. But the people who were using it, for example, I know someone who has 2 Sharky NFTs and have put a bunch of volume through the protocol. They didn't get anything, which, you know, that sucks. And, you know, that's kind of a sign of things to come, I feel like. Anyway, I think most people only got like $1 airdrop for Shark or so. I mean, I didn't use the platform, but I'll probably get something in the RFGQ2 airdrop drop. I think it's a sign of things to come. So because it's been an amazing ride for Solana airdrops, right? And personally, I got roughly 6 figures worth of airdrops. And that's both in things that I took profit on and then moved into other assets, which went ballistic as well. So it's not 6 figures perfect, but it's 6 figures based on where it's at the moment with regards to some of these things. But the ride has to end at some point. Just remember, like, this airdrop stuff can't keep going. Well, except to Jupiter. I mean, Jupiter's going to be doing ongoing airdrops, which is really cool. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on Jupiter as well, is that it'll kind of keep the narrative going, but it'll start to sort of lose some legs after time, and just keep that in mind. But with regards to Sharky, we'll stay on Sharky for a second. So the team came out and said that 250 Shark was just airdrops per wallet. I don't know what wallets were eligible. 750 Sharks, just airdrops per wallet holding 10 plus Sharks. Now, again, I don't know if you know Whale's Friend. He is a streamer, Twitch streamer, also posts on YouTube. but he said he has nothing, and he just streamed a couple hours ago. So still has nothing. So anyway, stake 1,000, get 1,000 in rewards, distributed daily. They're trying to do something about it. I mean, people were annoyed by the whole launch. Even Seb Monty was quite bearish on it in his last video. But anyway, I don't really care that much about this. I'm not an NFT holder, or, well, I've got a whole bunch of useless, cheap, pointless NFTs. I don't have anything that's good, like a penguin or a lad, or, you know, as in MadLads. Or SMB, or I've got SMB actually. I've got a Solana Monkey Business NFT, but it's worthless. Anyway, so let's talk about Sanctum SO quickly. So Sanctum SO, which is the Infinity token, or INF. I said in the last video that I wish there was a shortened code for INF, and there is, it's INF, which is the LST for Sanctum SO. Crazy yield, about 11% at the moment. It was 14% in my last video. But the Sanctum SO tokenomics have been thrown into question because they haven't actually released tokenomics. Now, Seb Monty, as I mentioned before, also mentioned this, and was one of the reasons why he decided to vote for Uprock instead. Now, this has been addressed, so I don't think this is problematic. So Sol Economist, or FP Lee, who is building Sanctum SO, acknowledges the importance of transparency and community input in designing the tokenomics. Rather than presenting a finalized tokenomics, they propose working with the community to develop it together. I don't know how they'll do that. There'll be no token for a DAO vote, so I guess it'll be discussions maybe within the Discord or something like this. But instead of announcing static tokenomics at this time, we will consult closely with both Jupiter and Sanctum communities to build the tokenomics together. So yeah, they haven't released the information on the tokenomics yet, as in token supply, distribution, vesting schedules, anything like this. However, they have said that they will work with it. So again, feedback will be held 24/7 in our Discord and Telegram. So if you want to participate in the structuring of their tokenomics, then there you go. There's some links there. There's a big post here, essentially, bit of a word salad. I'm not going to read all of it because I already went over it. But anyway, I think that's all of the information you need from this, and why I'm not bearish on the lack of tokenomics currently on Sanctum SO. So Jupiter has announced they're going to release their own LST, which is yield on Solana. So they've got a validator. So basically it's a LST for Jupiter's validator. So really, really cool. You get MEV kickbacks, and I'll cover a little bit more about that in a sec. So the whole purpose of Sanctum is when you hold INF, you're sort of entering into a basket of LSTs. And all of the fees and all the yield and all that sort of stuff is baked into the token price because it is a rebased token. Now, yeah, so Sanctum are launching one for Jupiter too, which is really, really cool. Which again, I think will put eyes on to Sanctum as well. And there's a little video here showing how to buy JitoSOL on Jupiter. But anyway, all you have to do is swap into it. So currently it's 10%, 10.7%. I mean, this is crazy staking yield. This is actually bringing the Solana staking up to, you know, levels or similar APYs to what we see on the Cosmos ecosystem, which is really cool. So because it's collecting fees and yield and all that sort of stuff and baking into price. So anyway, Jupiter and others will probably start using Sanctum SO to mint LSTs, which is basically just means, you know, you're staking your Solana, but you've got a receipt token that you can put into DeFi and do whatever you want with. And the master of it all is the INF token, which not many DeFi integrations. I did see it pop into Camino, into the altcoin list, but it's got 0 LTV and 0 yield. So putting it in there, it doesn't really earn you anything. But anyway, it's also a potential airdrop farm, so I'm going for it. So Coinbase Wallet announced that you can now trade 50k plus Solana tokens with its Solana DEX integration. So again, Coinbase is a huge exchange, and a lot of people will be using their wallet because it's sort of easy to use and also easy to find for Coinbase users. Again, one of the biggest central exchanges in the world. Quite bullish for Solana, to be honest, quite bullish for Solana. Now, some news on Drift. They have released some information on their tokenomics for their token. So they'll airdrop 100 million Drift tokens to 180k plus users, or around 180k users based on their activity on the platform. So total token supply to be 1 billion tokens, all distributed over a 5-year vested period. 53% allocated to the community and ecosystem. So 53% allocated to the community ecosystem is actually really, really good. And also they just added Arthur Hayes to their strategic advisor list. My response was hopefully not to make it more like BitMEX. If you don't know what this is, and if you never used BitMEX, then well, you're not poorer because of it, that's for sure. You're probably richer because of it. So if anyone ever used BitMEX in the past, you know, it was like one of the first like degen leverage perps platforms for Bitcoin. It had XBT and all that sort of stuff. As in Bitcoin, they called it XBT. But this is a funny meme because often, and I had this happen to me many, many times, especially in 2018, where you would try to execute a order and you would get this error message, order submission, and you'd be trying to close your order and you'd just be like, what the hell? And then your position's liquidated. You see that? That's Arthur Hayes. There he is. There's Arthur right there. So yeah, there's the BitMEX monkey. I've felt like this many times in 2018. Where my positions were wrecked because of BitMEX. So that's what I mean by that. Anyway, but he's definitely a massive KOL in the crypto space. So pretty cool. We'll see. He's a strategic advisor. So I mean, for Drift, that's pretty cool. So one of the OGs in the space joining the Drift team. And here's another view that's a lot easier to read for the tokenomics on the Drift. So again, 1 billion token supply, 100 million Drift, 53% to the community and ecosystem. Protocol developments 25%, and strategic participants is 22%, and 10% allocated out of the 53% is for airdrops. So only 10% actually for the airdrops. So the ecosystem, that'll be for like farming. So if you've got, say for example, Drift and you put it in Camino, for example, you get bonus rewards in Drift tokens, and that will likely happen, highly likely happen. So that's what that is, and that's what the airdrop will be for. Now, if you want to farm the airdrop even more, there is a 10x points boost at the moment on Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum. So if you want to rapidly get more points, then you can open up some crazy high leverage positions with like 0.05% take profit and stop losses. But I would be doing this during the Asia session, right? Not during the US session where there's a lot more volatility, or during European sessions, as in market sessions, trading sessions, because that way, when you open up these huge positions, and you might have to, if you're in America, you might have to stay up for it, I suppose, but you want low volatility if you're doing that, right? Because if the volatility is high, then stop loss and trigger orders might not trigger properly, and they might trigger well outside of your TP and SL. So just keep that in mind if you want to farm the Drift airdrop. It's coming very soon, so you probably need to get cracking on that if you want to do that. Just be wary that you might end up being down if you do that, as in like you might end up losing like $50, $60 if you do that. So do that responsibly and only at your own discretion. And I'm not saying you should do it. I'm just saying that's one way to farm aggressively more points. 10x point boost on it on Bitcoin. Keep your stop losses really tight. Whatever takes first is whatever takes first. That's one way you can farm more points for Drift. Now, I speculated that the Solana MadLads were going to nuke the Wormhole token. Huge allocations to NFT holders, huge allocations to NFT holders. Actually, I thought it was 15,000, but I think a lot of them were only getting about 3,000. So I was a bit confused about that. So I did open a tiny short on Drift, and that was up 32% roughly this morning. So very small position, 5x leverage. I opened it at about 60 cents, but it didn't really nuke very much. I mean, look at this. Actually, it's not that bad. So anyway, that's pretty much that. So a lot of people were saying that MadLads will diamond their airdrop, and that also makes sense because why would you sell at 60 cents for something that launched and put in a high of $1.60? It actually doesn't make any sense, and I think people, who are MadLads holders are probably OGs, or at least people who are like well and truly deep in the space. So yeah, I kind of agree with the sentiment that they probably weren't dumping their tokens. I would say that maybe some of them did, but I think it was overall just the market coming down, and everything sort of comes down in concert. So anyway, it's not up that much anymore. I think it's only up at 12 or 11%. But anyway, I don't think the thesis played out as I expected. But anyway, whatever, that's fine. So with regards to Zeus network, so this is Bitcoin on Solana. They have a working product now. They've got a website we can go and check out. So it's apollozeusnetwork.xyz. You can come over and have a look and see what they are building. So again, as I said, we need a working product to see how this all works. So this is one way we're going to see potentially earning yield on Bitcoin with Solana. So this is a money market by the looks of things. So you can provide Bitcoin, so you can deposit native Bitcoin, and it mints a TBTC, and then essentially you can then also borrow against it. I'm not sure what you can borrow against it. I can see here Solend, Camino, and MarginFi. It's grayed out, well, it's blurred out, but it looks like there'll be integration into other money markets. So pretty cool, pretty cool. I see people already minting stuff here. So you can probably come over and connect your wallet. And remember, Phantom can also connect to the Bitcoin network as well. You have to enable it, but anyway. So yeah, we'll have to just keep our eyes on this, but I mean, I'm looking forward to earning yield on my Bitcoin. I don't have as much as I used to, but I still have a fair bit. So I want to sort of pull some of it in, not all of it, just a little bit, probably 1.1 or 0.2 BTC I'll probably pull into here and see what I can do with it, because I think it'd be pretty cool to earn yield on Bitcoin. Working product, which is what I was looking for, and it is here. You can come over and follow my X if you want. Just come to Apollo Beat by Zeus. So that's their page if you want to keep up to date with the developments on Apollo. So there is an IO airdrop coming. So I actually did actually deploy onto IO. So it's a bit of a clunky process, and I actually covered it here. But you actually can deploy to render network as well. So you can deploy to IO network and render network. From what I could see, Vietnam and Venezuela have deployed the most out of all of them. And that in terms of the clusters, when you deploy, it is quite a clunky process. So you probably want to read the docs. But in terms of the deployment, there's no guarantee that you'll get selected. So even if you deploy and leave your computer on, there's no guarantee that you'll even get picked. So, I mean, you might not be able to farm IO with that, but at least you might qualify for some sort of airdrop or points. So you can come over here. I did post this on my X if you really want to do the farm guide. A lot of the farm guide stuff talks about doing the Zealy quests and also joining the Discord and stuff like that. So, I mean, you can go over and if you want, but I'm just going to, deploy and then, or sorry, not Zealy, Galaxy quests, I should say. And then also join the Discord and level up in there. So anyway, yeah, they did raise $30 million from a seed round for $30 million. So that means there might be a decent airdrop. I'm not sure when the snapshot and stuff will be taken for this, but regardless, it's pretty cool. And as I mentioned, I haven't seen anywhere where you can actually farm render, and this might be one of the places because you can select the render network when you're deploying a cluster. Now, on to more news. So it looks like Nimbus has integrated JitoSOL's airdrop checker into their portfolio, which is the airdrop.link. So this one here. So if you have a look at Nimbus, you can see their Web3 portfolio tool, which shows you, things you've got in DeFi and all that sort of stuff. They're tracking points now. And the way they're doing it is using the API from airdrop.link. And how did I find that out? Well, pretty easy. Right there, data from airdrop.link. So that's the points and stuff like that. It's actually not working at the moment. So anyway, this is even just the demo portfolio. It's actually not working at the moment. So anyway, if you use it, I actually use Sonar Watch for tracking my on-chain portfolio. But yeah, hopefully they integrate airdrop.link. And speaking of Sonar Watch, I actually was looking at my portfolio the other day and I saw there was a section for claiming MEV rewards using Jito. So if you're staking your Solana, you can see you can harvest MEV rewards. So this is my main, connected to my main wallet, or I saw it in my main wallet. So if you go to the Jito.network and harvest, you can actually come over and see if you have any claimable JitoSOL or just Sol, because you can claim it as Sol or JitoSOL. I claimed it as JitoSOL. There's also earn enhanced rewards when you migrate your LSTs and stake accounts to JitoSOL. No, I'm not migrating because that will pull my 430 Sol out of this wallet and put it into JitoSOL. I would rather use native staking for this wallet because I've got LSDs everywhere else in other wallets. So anyway, whatever. You can just come over here, harvest your MEV rewards for your native stake accounts. So that's pretty cool. So there he goes. There's my stake account, just 429.9 on this particular wallet. And I ended up getting, I think, about $30 worth of MEV rewards. So that's pretty cool. I mean, it's not a lot considering how much is staked, but still free money. Can't say no to free money, right? And also, according to airdrop.link, I actually have Switchboard and Symmertry points. So I actually haven't been following these projects at all. Switchboard is an oracle, so it's, I think, similar to Pith. And Symmertry, I'm not really sure how I got their points, but anyway, maybe it's something where you can come and create, so build a public portfolio and let others deposit into it. That's so random. Anyway, so you can come over and check out more about Symmertry. I'm going to have to because I got points for it, so I'm going to want to know more about it. But anyway, just thought I'd touch on that. Make sure you go to airdrops.link and check to see what points you've got, because I mean, points are generally turned into airdrops in the future, so you might want to know what it is you're getting your hands on, right? Also, the PARCL airdrop went live. I got about $30. I think it was worth about $100 at the point at the airdrop, but the price tanked. Now, I was pretty disappointed that Drift didn't have PARCL in their tradable assets, because I wanted to short it, but anyway. I'm probably going to short every single airdrop token if it's available, but maybe that's why they stopped listing them, because it puts even more selling pressure on. But anyway, $30 a PARCL. What am I going to do with it? Probably not anything, because it's only worth $30, so it's not really worth anything to me. Also, now you can find Dither in Coinmarketcap. So I covered Dither in the past. It's like a meme coin finder, if you will. It uses AI, and now you can put it in your Coinmarketcap portfolio tracker. So finally, I've been able to do that. It's been in CoinGecko for ages now, but this thing's kind of nuked. The price is nuked on it, so I'm actually down a lot on this, but I don't really care because I like the project. We'll add more to it. Maybe not. It's a cool project. So, I mean, I bought the token, so it would force me to stay up to date with how it was going. So I actually didn't realize, but I actually have Mu in my Solana Saga 2 wallet address. So, because I use Backpack for that. Now, I don't use my Backpack wallet actively. I just saw that when signing up for the Saga 2, it was suggested to use a backpack wallet because then you might actually get NFT drops into it if you use backpack. So that's why I set up backpack. And I was dropped Mew, which is currently worth 250 bucks, which is really, really cool. So I actually bought some of this. I covered it in my last Solana ecosystem video. Why I did that was based on my 2-second TA. And yeah, went up a little bit and it's gone up even more. Or it did, and it's come down this morning. So this is where I bought it and did a nice little run here, 72%. And now it's come down a little bit. This morning, drawdown is 40% roughly. Or if you like to measure from the top to the bottom, which I don't, about 25%. I like to measure drawdown because I want to see how much the token has to do in order to get back to those levels. That's why I do drawdowns when I'm measuring. But anyway, whatever. I'm here from you. I've seen it a lot, as I mentioned in the last video, reasons why I bought it. Covered it in the last video, so if you want to know, then check out the last Solana Ecosystem video, link above. So now onto the Injective Ecosystem. So I think the new Injective bridge sucks, personally. I tried to use it and it didn't work. So they've moved the Solana bridging because I wanted to buy BLACK, which is the token which I'll cover in a sec, which I covered in the last video, which I posted just prior to this. Now, only Dojo can swap WSOL, which is the one in Wormhole. So I mentioned prior that, you know, I'm not that bullish right now on Wormhole. I'm only bullish in the long term for Wormhole because you can easily black hole assets and do all this sort of stuff. But basically what I did is I tried to use the old bridge and the old bridge just didn't work. Just kept saying transaction failed, couldn't pull it into a block. Just kept doing it over and over and over and over and over again. I haven't tried again today. This was yesterday and it just didn't work. And if you use the Wormhole bridge, it can just black hole the asset because you can't swap it anywhere. So it's all using Legacy Sol as they've renamed it. So all the other swap platforms use Legacy Sol, the ones where you can swap Sol. So I think Black Panther has Sol, Astroport has the Legacy Sol. So they haven't actually migrated to the new WSOL standard. Only Dojo has it, but you can't swap it because it says something about the current node is highly utilized. Please refresh and try again. Now I refreshed many times. This was a test amount just to see if it would work. So it was $8, so I didn't really care if there'd be problems. I mean, look at the Oracle on this. This is wrong. $807 for 0.06. The Oracle's wrong. Everything is wrong. The new bridge experience, Solana to Injective, is terrible. Now, I actually did end up buying BLACK, and the way I did that is I used Neptune Finance because I've got a whole bunch of assets in there. So I just borrowed Injective, about 10 Injective, which is not as much as I wanted to buy. And I just put it into Mito Finance. So yeah, anyway, so the BLACK public sale is currently on, and I think the token price will be 0.015 cents or something like that. So sale price is 0.005 Injective currently. So not a huge amount of interest in this right now, which is quite surprising, but I think it's because of the market conditions right now are not the best. But I've used, as I mentioned in the last video, I've used this, I like it, so that's why I want to buy the token. But if they don't reach their target, does that mean that it doesn't happen and it happens again later, as in like the pre-sale? Not really sure. But anyway, as soon as I get this, I will probably have to sell some of it to repay my debt in Neptune, although I am farming more points by having the loan out, so I don't know. Do I just wait? I don't know. What would you do? You can let me know in the comments below what you would do in this situation. Would you just sell all the BLACK as soon as it launches, because it will probably spike up and then bleed down because we're in a sort of bearish trend in the bull market currently? Or do I just hold on to it and then pay the debt back later with that 5% APY? I'll probably do the latter, maybe sell a little bit at the start, but it's really, my allocation is not big enough to really warrant doing that. So I'll probably just hold on to it and use the debt to farm points. So it says here on this sale price is 0.125. Yeah, there you go. But it says the current price is, so yeah, that's the sale price if it meets its target, I think. But currently it's 0.05 or 0.005 because it hasn't met the target yet. But anyway, if you want to participate in this, you can go over to Mito Finance and do it there, or you can do it in Dojo Swap. Those are both options. I did cover that in the last video, so let's move on. And for the last thing I'll cover here is that the Ninja Vault is working again. So I covered in the last video that Ninja Vault was a bit screwy, but it is back online. So anyway, that's it for today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, then please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this, hit that bell notification if you want to be alerted when more videos come out from me, and go and check me out on X if you want all of this alpha in real time before I cover it in my videos in more detail. So keep safe out there. This is Kryptolytix signing out. Have a good one.